Most men will die as shadows of who they were meant to be, not because the world was unfair, not because they lacked talent, but because they refused to face the mirror and act. Look around you. Numb faces chasing screens, begging for approval, drowning in distraction. Every single one of them once believed they'd be great, but comfort seduced them. Weakness became normal. And now, they'll be forgotten. You're not listening to this by accident. This is the line between who you are and who you could be, between noise and purpose, between existing and dominating. If you feel like you've been lied to your entire life, if you feel like something is missing, like you've been tricked into playing it small, you're right. And this is the reset button. You were not born soft. You were made soft. From the moment you could walk, the world started smothering you, with lies like, "You're perfect as you are," with easy outs, with false praise, with everything designed to keep you weak, controllable, average. And most men, they accept it. They nod, they follow. And by the time they realize what they've become, it's too late. But not you. You're awake now. And this video is the raw blueprint to rip out the softness, rebuild from the ground up, and become a high-value man, a man who commands power, who attracts wealth, who earns real respect in every room he enters. We're going to dissect it all, step by step, mind, body, money, relationships, how to master them like a man who's done being lied to. This isn't for boys. This is for the ones ready to be dangerous with discipline, to live like lions among sheep. Support this channel so more men can find this. Every like, every sub, every comment spreads this truth to someone who's about to break. Comment, "I refuse to be average," if you're ready to watch this video till the end. Number 1. Reject weakness, embrace discipline. You wake up. It's 6 a.m. Your alarm rings, but the bed is warm and the world outside is cold. You're alone, tired, uninspired. And in that split second, before you decide whether to get up or hit snooze, the entire course of your future shifts. Because in that instant, you either choose the man you want to become or the man you've been told to settle for. Discipline is not about routines, habits, or productivity. It's about identity. It is the uncompromising decision to align with your highest self, even when every cell in your body begs for comfort. Most men talk about wanting power, money, women, respect. But they move like sheep, they act like victims, and they let their environment dictate their value. A high-value man doesn't exist by accident. He is crafted through thousands of choices made in isolation, when no one is watching, clapping, or praising. He gets up not because he wants to, but because he said he would. He reads while others scroll. He trains when others sleep. He stacks skill after skill with ruthless patience. And he builds himself into someone the world can't ignore, not by shouting louder, but by building a life that speaks for itself. Imagine a man walking into a room. He doesn't talk much, he's not flashy. But everything about him says one thing: I do not bend. His presence doesn't beg for attention. It commands respect, because it's backed by work, by proof, by relentless discipline forged in quiet pain. Think of the men you admire, not the influencers with fake smiles, but the real ones. The ones whose words carry weight because their lives are the evidence. They didn't get there by hacks or shortcuts. They suffered. They endured ridicule, boredom, discomfort, and years of invisibility. And they kept going. Why? Because they saw something most men don't. That pain is a compass, not a punishment. That sacrifice isn't loss, it's investment. That discomfort isn't suffering, it's sculpting. Most men will never know what it's like to walk into a store and buy what they want without checking their balance. Not because they're stupid, but because they never decided to demand more from themselves. They chose comfort in small ways daily, and that comfort grew into chains. So if you're sitting there waiting for the perfect plan, the perfect body, the perfect opportunity to start living like a king, wake up. The world does not reward the hesitant. It rewards the bold, the consistent, the obsessed. Ask yourself, what do your days say about your future? If someone shadowed you for 24 hours, would they say you're on a path to greatness, or that you're hiding? Are you building income streams or watching other men do it? Are you lifting weights or your excuses? Are you speaking with clarity or apologizing for your strength? Real wealth isn't just money. It's time, it's freedom, it's options. It's being able to walk away from anything that insults your value without fear. You don't get that by winging it. You build it brick by brick. You study relentlessly. You work when you're not motivated. You save more than you spend. You learn to invest, not just your money, but your attention. If your phone history says TikTok and not trading, books or building, you're bleeding future for cheap dopamine. The man who lives on social media will die forgotten. The man who builds in the dark will live as a legend. Ask yourself now, if someone took away everything you had, could you rebuild from scratch? Would you crumble or rise? Discipline gives you the answer. It makes you durable, focused and respected. A disciplined man doesn't need external pressure. He's self-governed. He knows that emotions are visitors, not rulers. He feels fear, anger, laziness, and he acts regardless. That's power, not avoiding emotion, but mastering your response to it. Think about the men who attract the most respect. They're not reactive. They're centered. They say little and mean every word. That comes from a mind that's been trained, not indulged. So how do you build this? First, stop lying to yourself. Admit what you avoid. Admit what you fear. And then attack it like your life depends on it. Because it does. Track every hour of your day. Where does your time go? Most men don't need more time. They need more honesty. Cut your comfort rituals. Cold shower instead of hot. Read 10 pages before touching your phone. Lift heavier this week than last. Speak truth when it's hard. Track your money daily. Live below your means. Build your body, your brain, and your bank account like your future wife depends on it, because she does. A man without options becomes a beggar in relationships. If you want women to treat you like a king, then live like one. Be competent, be protective, be present. Don't just want respect, be respectable, and when you fail, as you will, don't spiral, reset, refocus, recommit. Every setback is a test. Are you here for hype, or are you here to rise? Discipline says, show me. Show me with your calendar. Show me with your bank balance. Show me with your physique. Show me with your results. And when you look in the mirror, don't ask, how do I feel? Ask, did I lead today? Because men who lead themselves don't need to be rescued. They rescue others. They build empires, legacies, dynasties, not just for glory, but for the peace that comes from knowing they kept their word to the man in the mirror. Remember this. The man you become is hidden in the man you tolerate. So if you're tired of being overlooked, disrespected, or stuck, then reject weakness like your soul depends on it, and embrace discipline like it's oxygen, because once you do, everything changes. Not overnight, but inevitably. You'll speak differently, walk differently, think differently, and eventually live differently. Not because the world became easier, but because you became harder, stronger, sharper, unstoppable. And when people ask what changed, you'll look them in the eye and say, I decided to stop being average. Number 2. Kill comfort before it kills you. Comfort is the most lethal addiction a man can have, not because it feels destructive, but because it pretends to be safety. It disguises itself as deserved rest, as earned leisure, as emotional care, but underneath it all, comfort is the executioner of potential. Picture this. Two men wake up. One reaches for his phone, scrolls through messages, skips the gym, eats something quick and easy, tells himself he'll get serious tomorrow. The other wakes, breathes deep, makes his bed with precision, journals a goal for the day, stretches, trains, fasts for clarity, and begins his mission without a single ounce of motivation. One of them will feel good today. The other will feel powerful for the rest of his life. The difference is discipline and the rejection of comfort. You weren't designed to spend your days seeking what's easy. Your bloodline didn't survive wars, famine, failure, betrayal, and centuries of suffering just for you to spend 8 hours a day watching strangers live on a screen while you relax. Comfort is where men go to die. Not physically, but mentally, spiritually, emotionally, financially. And every time you choose comfort over conquest, you make an unconscious declaration to the world, I'm okay being average. That's not you. That can't be you. Because inside you is a man who craves impact, clarity, success, dominance, not over others, but over yourself. And if you want to create financial abundance from nothing, you must first realize how many of your beliefs around money are built on comfort. You think money is about working hard? Wrong. Men work hard in mines and die broke. You think it's about being smart? Wrong again. The world is full of broke geniuses with nothing to show for it. Financial abundance is the byproduct of brutal self-responsibility, problem-solving, extreme clarity, and long-term strategic suffering. Every dollar you've ever earned was a receipt for the value you gave someone else, not effort, value. So if you want more money, stop trying to feel good and start becoming irreplaceably useful. That doesn't happen in comfort. It happens when you teach yourself skills no one else is willing to master. Coding, writing, sales, marketing, persuasion, systems, attention management, leadership. These are the crafts of kings. If you spend more time consuming content than you do building systems that print value, you are a consumer. And consumers stay broke. Comfort wants you consuming. Growth demands you create. When was the last time you built something from scratch? A brand, a service, a side hustle, a high-income skill? If your answer is never, understand this. The world is moving fast, and it doesn't wait for men who are figuring it out. You don't need to know everything. You need to start. Begin with what people complain about. Pain is opportunity. Every time someone says, I wish someone would, that's your gateway to wealth. Build solutions, package knowledge, offer services, launch with imperfection, and refine in real time. That's how empires are born. The man who obsesses over his comfort zone never sees the skyline of his own potential. He's too busy living in the familiar hell he calls peace. And it seeps into every part of his life. His relationships become transactional. His body weakens. His spirit dulls. He starts to believe that what he has now is the best he'll ever get. That's the first sign of death, because comfort robs you of vision. The man with no hunger sees no reason to climb, and the man with no climb eventually falls. Think about the men who walk into rooms and shift the energy. They're not magical. They're not lucky. They're forged in decisions others couldn't stomach. They've missed parties. They've skipped nights out. They've woken up early in silence, executed plans alone, endured setbacks without applause, and doubled down when everyone else quit. That's why they own the rooms you beg to be seen in. They didn't trade time for money. They traded weakness for mastery. And now money obeys them, not because they're rich, but because they are valuable. Comfort will tell you that making $3,000 per month is fine, that your job isn't that bad, that a cheap apartment and weekend drinks are enough. But your soul knows. It aches for more. And if you ignore it long enough, it dies. Wealth is not created through wishing. It's created through systems. Every wealthy man has built or leveraged a system that operates beyond his time. That means you must move from laborer to leader. Stop asking, "What should I do today?" and start asking, "What can I build today that earns while I sleep tomorrow?" Digital products, sales funnels, content that compounds, networks that sell for you, automations that eliminate friction. If that sounds foreign to you, good. That means it's your next mountain, because every mountain you avoid today becomes your regret tomorrow. Comfort wants you flat. Success requires you angular, focused, decisive. Take a hard look at your day. If you're not blocking hours for deep work, if your calendar looks like chaos, if your mind is noisy with guilt and clutter, then you're not building anything real. You're maintaining your decline. Flip the script. Wake before the world. Move your body hard and fast. Eat for fuel, not fun. Track every penny like a warrior counts his arrows. Create something every day, a post, a pitch, a product. Build a morning so strong it eliminates the need for external motivation. And when you feel the urge to rest, ask yourself, have I earned it, or am I escaping? That question alone can triple your income in a year. Because men who escape too much never escape poverty. And poverty isn't just lack of money, it's lack of growth, power, and peace. True peace is earned. It's the peace of knowing you can walk into any room, any country, any crisis, and not only survive, but expand. That kind of confidence is priceless. And it only comes when you slaughter comfort, tear it apart, limb by limb, replace it with clarity, constraint, and commitment. Your friends will mock you. Your family might not understand. But that's how you know you're on the path. Every king walked alone before the world bowed. Every leader led himself before others followed. Every wealthy man was once broke, confused, tired, but refused to stay that way. So if your life feels stuck, if your energy is low, if your account balance is embarrassing, your relationships lukewarm, your future unclear, look no further than the comforts you've made excuses for. They are your enemies. Declare war on them. Wake up earlier, invest in courses, learn the market, sell something, speak with men who are building, cut people who drain. Keep your promises. Stop quitting. Stop caving. Stop waiting. The man you want to be will never arrive until you kill the comforts that are feeding the man you no longer wish to be. And once you kill them, once you replace them with power moves, your income rises, your respect multiplies, your energy returns, your presence strengthens. Not because the world changed, but because you finally became the man who deserved more. It starts today, not next Monday, not when you feel ready. Now, and if it hurts, good. That's the beginning of becoming unforgettable. Number 3. Power is earned through pain. Pain is not your enemy. It is your greatest tutor, your most honest mirror, the gatekeeper between the man you are and the man you know you were meant to become. Every breakthrough in life is guarded by discomfort. Every version of you that commands wealth, demands respect, leads relationships, and changes rooms, is hidden behind 1,000 rejections, failures, frustrations, and lonely nights. The world does not hand over power to men who whimper when the wind blows against them. It bows to those who have sharpened themselves in the storm. You do not become formidable by avoiding hardship. You become formidable by walking straight into it, over and over, not because you like pain, but because you recognize what it forges. Think of the most powerful men you've ever seen, men with presence, men who walk into a room and recalibrate the energy. They weren't born with that weight in their words. They earned it. Through betrayal, through humiliation, through financial collapse, through rebuilding what no one believed they could rebuild, and most importantly, they endured. When most men panic, they plan. When others collapse, they center. Because pain didn't break them, it calibrated them. Pain becomes power the moment you stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "What must I become to conquer this?" You cannot be high value if you're still fragile, if you still fold under criticism, if you still seek comfort more than character, if you avoid rejection like it's poison rather than seeing it as purification. You must train your mind to view pain as data, not defeat. The market rejecting your offer, that's market feedback. The girl who ghosted you, she showed you your presence wasn't strong enough. The friend who turned on you, he revealed what you tolerate. Every blow is a blueprint if you stop reacting and start reading. Stop praying for ease and start preparing for resistance. True wealth, long-term, generational, soul-deep wealth, only flows to men who have been tested, who've lost everything and come back stronger, sharper, leaner, wiser. Ask yourself, do you suffer in vain or do you suffer on purpose? There's a man who goes to the gym and quits after 3 weeks because it hurts. And there's a man who goes expecting the pain, chasing it, using it as proof that he's not hiding from who he could become. Who are you? Pain is the purification fire of men. It burns away illusion. You think you know who you are? Face a financial drought, lose your income, watch your girlfriend leave, get rejected 50 times, then look in the mirror. What you see is not weakness. It's your real baseline. That's the moment when boys either become victims or warriors. Power is not a feeling. It's a reputation you build with yourself by choosing to show up in the face of suffering, and not just showing up, but evolving through it. Are you embarrassed about your life? Good. That's the signal. Are you sick of being broke? Perfect. Let the hunger hurt you. Stop numbing it. Use it to learn new income skills. Study sales, copywriting, investment psychology, attention capture. Wake up at 4 a.m. and write until your fingers cramp. Launch digital products. Talk to clients. Build brands. Lose sleep on projects, not parties. Get rejected by 10 women who all say the same thing and realize it's not them, it's you. And that's good, because now you know where to grow. Every man who ever became undeniable walked through fire without an audience, without applause, with nothing but a vision and scars on his back. Pain removes distraction. Pain strips away arrogance. Pain introduces you to the parts of yourself comfort buried alive. And when you stop running, when you stop blaming, when you start bleeding for purpose instead of complaining for pity, then and only then do you gain real strength, because you'll know that no matter what happens, you've seen the darkness and chose to build anyway. And that makes you dangerous, not to others, but to the system that relies on your softness. Because a man who suffers and stays standing cannot be bought. He cannot be manipulated. He cannot be controlled. He has walked through hell and knows he can do it again. And that's where freedom lives, not in avoiding pain, but in mastering it. Power is not given, it is taken. Taken by the man who shows up day after day with no guarantee of success, only the guarantee that his refusal to quit will eventually crack the code. So if your life hurts, good. You're closer to your power than you've ever been. Stop waiting for the pain to pass. Walk into it, and build your crown from the bricks others threw at you. Number 4. Master yourself, own your path. A man without mastery is a man in chains. Chains that may not be visible to the world, but that shackle him to mediocrity, to uncertainty, to fear. Every empire, every movement, every legend began not with money or luck, but with mastery. Mastery of thought, of time, of emotion, of direction. And that mastery starts with one brutal realization. No one is coming to save you. No mentor, no course, no perfect plan. Just you, your will, and how much of your current identity you're willing to sacrifice for the man you were meant to be. Mastery isn't about doing everything. It's about doing the essential with ruthless consistency at a level most men are too distracted to reach. And you don't get there by copying other men. You get there by confronting your chaos. You wake up and ask, where does my time go? What bleeds my energy? What am I tolerating that keeps me average? Every answer becomes a target. Cut the fluff. Audit your routines. If your calendar is filled with obligations, you're not free. Start saying no to things that flatter your ego but steal your edge. You master yourself by becoming your own general. Your day is your battlefield, and every minute wasted is a soldier lost. Get strategic. Rise before the world. Claim the first hour of your day for you, before the texts, the noise, the nonsense. Pour that hour into creation, clarity, confrontation. Journal your targets, track your finances, read what challenges your mind, sweat through pain. Speak to your future self and ask if he's proud of how you're moving. Most men don't rise because they never recalibrate. They let their weaknesses run wild and call it personality. They mistake noise for momentum. They stay busy but never intentional. You must be surgical. Every input in your life must justify itself. Every friend, app, ritual, subscription, conversation, does it build your empire or waste your fire? Mastery is subtractive. You don't master yourself by adding more. You master by removing what dulls you. That includes the opinions of others. The man on his mission does not outsource direction. He's not distracted by trends. He knows what he's building, and he knows why. You need to own your direction like a man carving stone, painfully, patiently, precisely. What does your financial map look like? If you don't know, you're guessing. And guessing is for gamblers, not architects. Build with data. Track every dollar. Make your money work harder than you. Build income streams. Automate what you can. Study the systems of men who are free, not flashy, free. They travel when they want, with whom they want, and they never trade time for pennies. They didn't get there by chance. They built a life where every move was aligned with their core values. What are yours? Define them. Write them down. Read them daily. Let them be your compass when doubt screams. Self-mastery is not about suppressing emotion. It's about placing it under command. You will feel anger, lust, envy, fear, but you do not obey those voices. You train them like wild dogs. You give them roles. Anger becomes fuel. Lust becomes discipline. Envy becomes strategy. Fear becomes focus. That's the difference between boys who react and men who rule. Think of a man who owns his path. He is unhurried but moves fast. He is kind but firm. He listens, but he does not shift unless it aligns with his mission. He is not addicted to validation. He validates himself with evidence, his results, his rituals, his relationships. This man doesn't need to prove his worth because his life is the proof. That's who you become when you master yourself. You stop explaining. You stop chasing. You stop doubting. You move with calm aggression. You know what you're building, and every action either feeds it or fades it. Choose every day to feed it. And when you fall short, recalibrate, not collapse. Mastery doesn't mean perfection. It means recovery. It means speed of correction. A high-value man isn't flawless. He's relentless. He studies himself like a CEO studies a P&L report. What's working? What's leaking? What needs optimizing? Do that daily. Track yourself like your legacy depends on it, because it does. The man who owns himself owns the world. Not because the world bends easily, but because he no longer bends for the world. He moves through chaos and carries order. He sees temptation and chooses discipline. He watches others chase applause and chooses truth. Be that man. Build that man. Master yourself. Own your path. And the world will eventually align, not because it owes you, but because it has no choice. I'm putting together the most powerful step-by-step relationship guide ever crafted for men, built entirely on timeless Stoic principles that have stood unshaken through centuries. This is not theory, it's not fluff. It's a blueprint for reclaiming your power, transforming your relationships, elevating your confidence, and unlocking the respect you've always known you were meant for. If you're serious about becoming the kind of man who commands loyalty, leads with clarity, and never chases what he can choose, stay tuned. This upcoming ebook will give you exactly what no one ever taught you about becoming magnetic, grounded, and undeniably high value. If you want me to send it to you the moment it drops, drop a comment below. Blueprint. And if this video hits something deep inside you, if you're done pretending and ready to rise, subscribe, share it, and support the channel. Every click fuels content that pulls more men out of confusion and mediocrity. You help make this message available to the ones who are ready to rewrite their lives.